Okay, after understanding the collections operations practice, let's look at the collection strategy, which is typically owned by credit risk team. Collection strategy is a set of decision rules that determine which accounts get to assign to which collection queues, assigned with what priority, what kind of collection actions. It's typically a decision tree based, and it can consist roughly 10 to 15 different variables. Then there could be more decision variables, but when you have more, the tree becomes more complicated, right? So typically you can combine multiple variables into a score. That way it's easy to understand and implement. Okay, let's look at some typical decision elements in collection strategy. At the beginning, you need to have a days delinquent or cycle delinquent because early stage versus late stage, that drives different collection actions. Next, account status code. If account is already being blocked, so you will treat them differently. Month on book, if account recently just got booked, but then become delinquent right away, that's usually a red flag. Versus the mature accounts being on the book for more than 10 years, then just become delinquent, and maybe you don't need to worry that much. Recency of a payment. Was there recent payment lately? If there is, so the risk generally is lower. If there's no payment, right? For example, no payment error, so then that's a first payment default, right? That's high risk. Or the account became inactive for a long time, then suddenly begin to use the account, then no payment, then that recency is very long. That's also a risk sign. Credit limit, different credit limit, different balance, in combination, there's different utilization. Those should be treated different, right? Because a high utilization means a higher risk. So higher balance means more balance at risk, right? So those should be prioritized. Collection score. Okay, so we have the credit bureau score as well, but the credit bureau score usually it's to predict the risk, right, over 24 months. Collection score usually is specifically designed just for delinquent accounts. It could be an industry score or could be a customer score developed just for the lender. In either case, their predictability, right, is better than generic credit bureau score because it predicts a certain behavior, whether it's rolling forward or a cure rate or payment over 6 months. So if there is such a score, that should be utilized for sure. Behavior score is for revolving account, predict risk in 6 months. That's all based on internal information. So without collection score, you want to use the credit bureau score and behavior score in combination. Balance at risk. This is an important concept. So some accounts have a large balance, but their risk is low, right? So you need to combine these two factors together. Some are medium balance, but risks are high. So in that case, maybe the balance at the risk is higher than the high balance, low risk account. So usually there is such a decision key available for balance at risk, but also some strategy developer, they like to break it down into balance and risk because it's easy to interpret, right? Otherwise, it's the same balance and risk. You don't know whether it's due to balance or due to risk. So moving on, delinquency history. One category is how many times the account has been reaching a certain stage, right? For example, number of 2+ cycle delinquent in last 12 months. The more frequent you are in delinquency stage, the risky you are. Another category is the maximum delinquency in the last 12 months, right? If you have been cycle 2, cycle 3, then obviously your risk is higher compared with those who never been delinquent in the last year. Phone indicator, mail indicator, is there a good phone or not, right? So is the address still good or not? Either return mail, right? So this will drive the whether you should assign a call action or letter. Promise to pay indicator. If the customer promise to pay you, you already give them a 2 or 3 days, right, to allow them to arrange the payment. During those 2 or 3 days, you don't call them anymore. Special payment plan indicator. Is the account on a special hardship program, so forbearance program. So in that case, you might need to give them a break or have someone to manually look at the account, then get in touch with the customer. Banking relationship, this is typically used for a full service bank versus the monoline. You just have one single credit product. So banking relationship, for example, if the customer has a deposit account, savings account, some other accounts like mortgage, in addition to personal loan or credit card, so that generally indicates lower risk. You can use that data to segment the accounts further and assign different actions accordingly. So here are all the typical decision elements used in the collection strategy. Again, you don't need to use all of them, right? So because that will segment your account into very small segments, right? It's not very stable. So yeah, you can use the strategy development tools such as Enterprise Miner from SAS or other different decision tree module development tool. Find out which ones are predicting from data perspective, right? And also combine that with the some business rules, so to design your collection strategy.